All right, we are back. The two-player podcast returning once again to video games. I'm Eric Kane.
I'm Paul Tassi.
And we're going to talk a little bit about the Call of Duty World War II beta. So that ran all weekend. It's running again next weekend. What'd you think?
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's
fine. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week.
Yep. No, I mean, I did enjoy my time with it. It's a pretty limited beta. I feel like they're holding a lot of stuff back. I mean, obviously the other two modes, but a lot of kind of guns and loadouts and perks and stuff. It is kind of nice and refreshing to return back to an era where there's no jetpacks or wall running or sliding and stuff. But in contrast, I also feel like it's maybe a little bit dull compared to most shooters on the market. I don't know if you agree with that, but
oh well, you know, I have kind of a soft spot for Call of Duty, even though I'm not great at it. So I kind of like the sort of, I kind of like how basic it feels in a way, I guess. You know, like I liked Battlefield 1, but the maps are always so huge and there's all these vehicles, and that certainly appeals to a certain crowd. And but then like compared to something like Lawbreakers, I really enjoy kind of how just sort of straightforward this game is. I also love World War II, so it's kind of fun to go back to World War II. But I don't know. I mean, I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
It just seems like it seems so stripped down that it's almost a little bizarre. Like I too appreciate, I just like the Call of Duty style of gameplay over Battlefield. You know, they've always been rivals, but I've always liked Call of Duty more. But with Battlefield 1 felt like more of kind of this epic undertaking and this like beautiful rendition of World War I and these expansive, you know, missions with all this crazy stuff can happen. And at least for my time in the beta, like Call of Duty World War II does not look nearly as good. Like visually,
close. No,
it is, I would say, bordering on poor, which is something you don't really say often in an era where all games look pretty good to some extent. But the engine just feels weird to me, whereas, you know, Battlefield's kind of approaching photorealism, and Call of Duty very much still looks and feels like a video game, like in any given frame you can see.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's sort of surprising, honestly.
Yeah, but it's kind of been a little like this for years, but now that like kind of all the space junk isn't masking it, I think it's a lot more apparent when you're doing this kind of like gritty realism of World War II, and it just doesn't look that good. And granted, I want to see the campaign, which might be a little more polished in that regard, but that's one thing that stood out to me is like,
Yeah, I mean, I watched some of the campaign. I definitely think that I think it maybe looked a little better. Of course, it's, you know, recorded probably on a PC and then just played back for that demo. It wasn't like a live demo. So yeah, I don't place like too high of a priority on graphics as opposed to gameplay. I think gameplay is more important, which is why I still think I'm having more fun with like this Call of Duty than I do with Battlefield 1, just because I don't know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Battlefield 1's gameplay, and I have enjoyed the game, and it does look absolutely spectacular. It's just I prefer that sort of smaller scale, twitchier, faster, shorter rounds. That's just something I prefer.
I agree. I mean, I agree with that 100%. And in terms of gunplay, I mean, Call of Duty always gets it really right. And I have liked, you know, kind of all the old school guns, and I really like shotgunning in the beta.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Super viable because all the maps are so tiny. It's like you can just it's like this maze of trenches and just running around shotgunning people in the back.
Yeah, with the fire shells
and stuff. Yeah.
And then they
SMGs I don't like. I don't know why you'd ever use an SMG over a shotgun, because they can just take people out. But
you get a little more range with the SMG still.
Yeah, it does. The problem with like kind of the maze of trench thing is like I always felt like, oh, I'm coming to a fork. Like, do I go left or right? And if I go left, you know, maybe I'll kill someone. And if I go right, I am almost certainly going to get shot in the back. And it doesn't always seem up to you. I guess that's kind of a Call of Duty thing, but this, with the way the maps are designed and being so small and that happening so often, it felt more pronounced to me.
I do like that there's not like raps bouncing around, blowing everybody up, or like, mechs, like all these different like score streaks that dominate, matches in the last few games seem toned down.
Yeah, I hope that's true, because like I know they haven't unlocked all the kill streaks yet. Like, there was holding some back in the beta, but yeah, between kill streaks and then the last, I think, 2 games had like ultimate abilities, like Destiny style ultimates. Mm-hmm. That was like, oh, here, you just get this crazy ass rifle with a infinite fire rate and like you're invincible for 3 seconds. And it's like, well, how can you even deal with that? And I thought that was kind of contrary to Call of Duty, and it was so frustrating to get killed by that kind of stuff so often. So I'm glad that does not appear to be existing here.
Yeah, I like that we've gotten away from the super soldier thing in multiplayer. I do think that can be fun, but I don't know. I mean, I guess I feel like games with ultimates and special powers, there's other games that do that pretty well, and I prefer those games. In Call of Duty, I kind of like that people are they're not on an even footing. That's certainly not the case, but they're on more of an, you're all just kind of soldiers fighting each other, and it's not supposed to be a hero shooter like Overwatch. So I kind of like that we've gone back that direction. We have enough hero shooters right now anyways.
Yeah, I think it was a good move back. I do wonder, I'm really curious to see what the reaction will be like to this, because there's all these kind of like old school Call of Duty fans that have been like desperate for a return to, boots on the ground gameplay. But then there's also this group that are probably younger that have played the last 4 or 5 Call of Duty games with the super soldier theme and all these like high tech guns and like movement abilities and all this stuff. And to just have that stripped away, I'm curious to see how that will be received. Because I feel like there might be a crowd that has gotten very used to these specific type of movement abilities, and without them, the game was going to feel weird. Because like even myself, I kept like running into obstacles in the map and be like, I can't climb this. Like, seriously? Like, I can't jump over this thing. Like, even like really small things. And that was kind of disorienting in an age when almost every other game will allow you to do kind of elaborate pathing through a level and like jumping up to the second floor of something, or like climbing over a ledge, but like the maps are so small and so full of that kind of stuff. It was sort of weird to keep running into these invisible walls.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that there probably will be a lot of people who don't really like it. It definitely feels more old school. I mean, and that's probably why I have a more positive impression of it, because I kind of like going back to more old school. I don't know. I mean, I guess I also like War. What did you think of War Mode? I really enjoy it. I found, I mean, it's not like revolutionary by any means, but it's kind of a nice new.
I liked that it mixed up combat. I think it's got some issues. Like some of the choke points in War were just absurd.
Like what?
Like the very first part where like you just cannot come down the left flank to get into the house because it's just a crazy shooting gallery that you have like no recourse to ever get by there. So
that's interesting. That was
pathing, I thought was weird. But
I didn't have that much trouble getting up through there. I just took a sniper up and just took out the guys that were in the window and then ran up there. And
yeah, I guess I need to get better at sniping. Well, the second part, then like everybody turns into a sniper because you can't even like get to the other side of the map.
But all you have to do is throw smoke down.
Yeah, smoke down and crawl up and build the bridge. And
it's
I
a death
do like
trap,
how it forces you to fundamentally change, your style and to work with your team more based on the kind of objective at hand. Whereas all the other modes are like, oh, well, what level is this? Can I snipe here? No. Like, all right, I'll use
shotgun,
an SMG or a shotgun. Yeah. And that's kind of the extent of it. Whereas this is like, it's a lot. I mean, it's tactical for Call of Duty. It's not tactical for like maybe other games, but it's pretty tactical for Call of Duty, which I thought was a good switch. And I am very curious to see what the other levels like, because the war level was certainly the most interesting level. I mean, I played, so I'm excited to see more of that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I wonder, because that map is the only one with war mode. I'm definitely curious to see how the other maps are laid out and what kind of choke points and what kind of strategy and all that. I think it's the right direction for Call of Duty to kind of do new things like this, because I know you mentioned this earlier, but like the formula of having, zombies, single player campaign, multiplayer. It is, even with different settings and stories and time periods, it is a very similar formula every single year.
I want an open world Call of Duty game. Like,
Totally.
I want a Call of Duty loot shooter. And I know that's so stereotypical now, but like with Call of Duty gameplay, and like I'd even go back to like the near future settings, I think that would be cool. But like I would like to see how that would play to some extent instead of these kind of linear campaigns that are all starting to blur together. And
I would like to see it go to like Black Ops 2, like very near future, rather than
it would have to be pretty near, and not like Destiny level like space crap.
Yeah, not like Infinite Warfare either. But yeah, like I totally agree. Open world, maybe co-op. I think it could be really cool. I mean, it's because there's one thing, like you can say a lot of things about Call of Duty, like they have stupid stories and they have, it's formulaic and everything else, but the gameplay is the shooting, the gunplay is really good. And so give us some tools to go tackle an open world, and that could be
personally, I would rather just have them release like World of Black Ops, and then that's the game for 3 years, and like they keep adding content onto it and expanding it and whatever. But it's like, this is the thing, and then like because right now it feels so hard for me to get invested in any Call of Duty game. Like I'll play it for maybe 2 weeks, I'll prestige once, and then I'm like, all right, screw it. Like I've reached my limit, and like you beat the campaign once, it's 6 hours.
Yeah.
And either you play zombies or you play multiplayer. And I would love to be able to invest more time into it. Like I'm thinking of even something like The Division, but with Call of Duty gameplay, so it's not like crappy third-person gameplay I don't like. Like that would work really well for me. And granted, that's selfish and like it's not ideal really, because Call of Duty sells $60 box copies every year, and it's the biggest selling game of the year every year. So it would be kind of dumb for them to do that maybe. But I do feel like if it's going to keep declining, they might have to do something that drastic to kind of mix it up and like enter this whole games as service thing. And, there's negative aspects to that, but I think they could do it really well too.
Well, yeah, I keep thinking that they should rip off PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and have a first-person shooter battle royale style Call of Duty. I think that'd be friggin' amazing.
That could even be a mode in this game I'm talking about. Like just strip everything out of the world and then dump everyone in with nothing or a knife or whatever.
And then you got to find.
I don't know why. I don't know why more games period haven't ripped off PlayerUnknown.
Get ready for it. It's coming. I guarantee it.
Sure.
I just don't think Activision's going to do it. But they should. They should seriously consider, just based on the success of that game, like how. And also it'd be better in first person because you wouldn't have all the little tricks you can do in third person, basically.
Creeping around corners and whatever.
Yeah, it's a little silly. And just the gameplay would be better because, Call of Duty has excellent shooting mechanics, and PlayerUnknown, as good as that game is, it's fun, but it's not.
It being like mechanically kind of bad is also a little bit of its appeal, where it's just totally so goofy. But
yeah, I agree. There's definitely that. But yeah, there's so many things. I just feel like with the amount of money they have, with their resources, with their experience, they could really put together something that would actually, and maybe even like just start with that on PC only, because Call of Duty doesn't do well on PC. No. It's never very high up on the Steam charts. It's never But if they created some sort of living, breathing world that was persistent like Destiny or The Division, I think that's how they get the PC market, and then they can go into that if they feel like it, they can go into the
at this point that would be the only thing to really get me excited about Call of Duty again, because like I was excited about The Division when that game was coming out, and that looked like really cool. Like I'm really excited about Destiny 2 or like Overwatch, it really got me jazzed, or Titanfall 2, but I have not felt that about Call of Duty since like I don't know, like Black Ops 2, like it. And granted, again, this is just me, and the game's still selling well, and it's still crushing everything. But it just feels like, it's time to buy Call of Duty and like play it for a week and a half annually. And like I get that some people just kind of play it all year round, and that's like a thing. And it's like Madden, where they just get the next one and keep doing it. But man, I would just I love the mechanics so much, and I think they have the potential to do something kind of so much greater than what they're doing right now.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. What about so you've been playing the Destiny 2 beta on PC?
Yes.
I figure we might, since we're just talking the betas, we'll just talk betas.
Do all the betas. I only got like maybe two hours into the PC beta, but it is great. I really love it. I mean,
you were a little tepid on the console. Yeah, I played it at the preview event, but I know there's been changes, and I know you mentioned that it's better, a lot better.
The biggest change, like, not only does the game just work well on PC, like the shooting feels great, unlimited FPS or whatever it is. Like, I'm not good at specs, but it's really smooth and it looks great. But they've changed stuff since the console beta, where that game had like good mission content and stuff like that, but it just felt off. It just felt wrong to me. Like, the cooldowns were really high, damage was low, but they bumped PvE damage significantly, and you can really feel that. So now you actually feel powerful again with, SMGs and stuff like that. And they bumped super regen is higher now. So you can use that more often, and it's not like crawling towards, getting that super once per strike or whatever it was before, which is crazy. And it even just those two changes, and like maybe they drop more of power ammo now, so you can use your third weapon more than like twice a game. Just even those relatively minor changes like really have transformed the experience, and it feels a lot more like kind of current Destiny that everybody liked. And I am amazed like how much those change. Granted, I want to play it on console because it'll feel different, but I am amazed how much those kind of small changes have totally kind of made it feel just like Destiny again, and a lot better than it was previously. So I'm very impressed so far.
What's your take on the inputs? I know there was like a lot of discussion when people were talking about the fact that there was no kick or recoil with the mouse and keyboard. Have you noticed that, or does it just sort of feel natural?
It feels natural, honestly. I mean, like, I don't play a ton of PC shooters. I mean, to some extent, but it feels fine. And like, I think they changed it so it's bullet spread instead of recoil, which is just how they solve kind of the you can't be too accurate problem. But it feels good, and I really have no complaints in that area. Like, the only complaints I have are some of the key bindings feel weird and not terribly kind of convenient. Like, the class skill being V is really uncomfortable, and like it makes you never want to use it. But other than that, I don't know. I was very surprised with how quickly I was able, even after playing Destiny for 3 years, to jump into this and almost feel like I was better because obviously it's easier to play a shooter on PC with such precision with mouse aim, and it's great.
I agree.
Man, I really like it.
Yeah, when I was at the since I haven't jumped into the beta yet, but when I played it in LA at the reveal event, the difference just between I played both on PS4 and on PC in the Crucible, and I just did so much better on PC. I mean, I know everyone else also had a mouse and keyboard, so it's not like I had an advantage, but it just felt so much more natural. Yeah. Aiming. Aiming.
I've not played PvP yet. I assume I'm going to get stopped in PvP because I'm just not very good at PvP, but yeah. Hopefully maybe that'll help me a little bit. I do play Overwatch on PC mainly, so I guess I'm honing my skills there.
I hate Overwatch on console.
It's almost unplayable on console, I think.
It is downright unplayable. I can Destiny, Call of Duty, I play those on console all the time.
Well, Overwatch especially is not balanced for console play, like, at all.
And aiming just feels especially clunky for some reason. I mean, Overwatch isn't even a game that prizes like accuracy as much as other shooters.
Yeah.
Because you can play like lobbing grenades and things like that, but boy, it's torturous. Yeah. But yeah.
I mean, with how good this plays, I would not be surprised to see PC become like a very, very significant platform for Destiny after this. Like, with streamers playing it and this and that, like, it is very good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be big. I think it's really going to be big. I need to get in and play some of the beta because I just haven't gotten to that yet because I was writing and podcasting and stuff. But so are you going to do Crucible next?
Yeah, I guess I'll jump into that for a little bit and get stomped probably, but I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, I frankly I think that mouse and keyboard is more important than a couple extra strikes and PS4 exclusive whatever special weapons or whatever they're offering.
It's
this
the
time.
2 months that's bothering me because like I know I'm going to
Yes.
get really far into the console version in 2 months, like really far, and I don't. Maybe after that I can make the switch, and like I don't have that many like quote unquote regular people I play with where I'm like abandoning my clan or whatever. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We can play together on PC. It'll be fine.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll probably play some on the console version before the PC one releases, but I don't play this game as much as you anyways.
I will probably have it on all three because I want to see how it performs on Xbox One X too.
Oh yeah, totally.
To see if it's actually better or it's held
that makes
itself
sense.
back, but yeah.
Wouldn't it be amazing if the Xbox One X like turned the tide of the console war and like they started just really selling like crazy and everything changed? And it's not going to happen.
I would kind of love for that to happen, but
oh, totally, that'd be amazing.
They're too far behind. What it will do, it will force Sony to respond, and like they will have to produce a full on new console within probably 2 years now. In the wake of this, because the Pro is just not. I still don't really like the Pro as much as everyone says I'm a Microsoft fanboy. Like I'm not really thrilled about the Pro in like 90% of circumstances, and I do not think that was like a terribly good purchase.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it definitely has, like, if you combine it with a 4K HDR TV and you have a game like Uncharted or something like that or Horizon Zero Dawn, yeah, it looks better, but it's still, and it's nothing exciting,
Yeah, well, that's why I'm a little excited for the Xbox One X because it is so much more powerful that I'm hoping the difference will be like super noticeable when it's been like kind of noticeable on a couple titles with the Pro. So that's why I'm excited about it. I still fundamentally don't believe a $500 console in a market when your competition is $200 to $400 is a good idea, really. But yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it's living in that weird space between worlds. It's not as expensive as a high-end computer, but it doesn't have all the stuff that a high-end computer would have either, and it's not as cheap as a PS4. So, yeah.
Right.
Well, cool. I'm going to go play some Destiny now. And
same here.
Yeah, that's where the
two-player
podcast.
We'll have more to talk about when the game is out in like a week. It's
yeah. About a week, yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, and then there's a whole bunch of games coming out, so there's just all kinds of stuff hitting the shelves. We're back in the video game season.
Desert.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, there's been some indie stuff.
The most major release.
Yeah, I haven't played that still. I don't think I'm going to play it.
It's probably not worth $60.
No, or the time.
Yeah.
The games they take a lot of time. Like that's as big of a consideration to me as money in a lot of ways. Like, do I have the time to play this?
That's another reason Battlegrounds is so great because it's like 10, 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, unless you do well, and then it can go a little longer. But it is a great. Honestly, that's how I feel about Overwatch too. I can just jump in, play a couple rounds, hop back out.
I played as much Overwatch recently, but
yeah, cool, man. Talk to you soon.
Till next time.
Peace.